Hey everyone, this is Coach Mark from Atomic Train. Today I'm going to walk you through a hack squat. Now, this hack squat is an absolute dinosaur, but it still serves a very vital purpose. Notice the pathway of the weight is at 45 degrees here. You will see other hack squats that may be more vertical, they may be more horizontal, right? Just know the ones that are more horizontal, you will be able to move more weight. The more vertical this angle becomes, the harder it is to push more weight because gravity's working against you, right? Also note this bar pathway or this plane of motion here, right? It's straight. You will see other machines labeled hack squats that have curvature to their range of motion or their bar pathway. That is not a hack squat, that is a V squat. So don't confuse the two. Hack squats look like this. They may have a back, mine unfortunately doesn't. So I have to work on keeping my hips under me to keep it more glute biased and not allowing my hips to shoot back. I'm gonna walk you through that portion here. Another thing is, make sure when I do this, I'm gonna be about shoulder width stance here. I'm gonna have even foot pressure, okay, across all my toes, back to my heel. So it's gonna be triangular pressure all the way down, across my toes, down to the heel, even foot pressure the whole time, all right? Now, in order to get very deep, you may have to allow your knees to actually V out from your body as they're coming down because you might have hip impingements there because you might have a deep hip socket. So just make those adjustments based on your hip anatomy or what you encounter in this exercise. But this is gonna be quad bias. Now, again, it doesn't mean we're not gonna hit glutes, doesn't mean you're not gonna hit calves, adductors. You're gonna bias quads here though with this specific machine. All right, so I'm gonna get in here. My goal is to get as deep as possible, basically getting my hamstrings to touch my calves. If I'm not getting into that depth, I need to make the adjustments in my mechanics or my mobility in order to get into full knee flexion or knee bend. Make sure my hamstrings touch my calves. All right, so I establish exactly where I want my feet. Once I start, I will not pick up my feet. I'm gonna maintain foot pressure across all my toes, down to my heel. I'm gonna brace in my core, but bracing starts at our feet. Once I'm in this position, I will lock in, keeping my hips under me, not allowing my hips to shove back. If my hips shove back, automatically it's gonna be more glute bias. So I'm going to keep my hips under me, my core braced. Now my goal is to come all the way down. As far as this machine and my mobility will allow me to, I'm gonna control throughout the range. Notice how my knees V out to allow me to get into this depth. I pause, come back up. Notice if I stand wider here, I'm gonna pull in more adductor. The more narrow this stance is, the more quad bias it becomes. But make sure you're wide enough to get full depth here so my hamstrings are touching my calves. That way, as I get all the way to the bottom, my quad is fully elongated in a lengthened position. So this is gonna train quads in lengthened position, but you've gotta get them fully elongated here. So it's important to be able to get that depth each rep. The depth is more important than the weight, okay? So hopefully that makes sense and hopefully you can make adjustments based on your mechanics and your engagement in your machine. All right, for more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Go to atomictrain.com for coaching.